teacups, what's brewing? Welcome back to the channel. Took a few days there. It's been a busy old week. I did warn you last week that it was going to be, and I didn't end up updating my weekend last week because I was doing my grades and they all had to be in, and then the deadline got extended and no one told us and I'd already done it and blah blah blah. I am home early today though. It is currently 2 o'clock. I've been home for about an hour and a half because we did a half day today. The Board of Education, in an abundance of caution after the chaos last week where it just dumped rain on us, saw that there was a rain pattern coming in and put it to a half day because it was expected between midnight and 4 p.m. with the biggest expectation being in the afternoon, and we have just had a little smattering of rain. It doesn't seem to be hitting this area too badly this time. There are buckets of rain in some of the northern places, but we are between bands of storms at the moment, and so we're expecting some pretty heavy storms over the weekend, and it looks like that might move into Sunday, so we still don't know if we're going to go to school on Sunday or not. We'll just have to wait for the announcement. The announcement for today came in about 5:30 a.m. We got a message through saying, hey, half day, and put out a message to the parents, so I actually had a lot of absences today because some people just didn't bother having their kids come in. So that's been my day, busy as ever. Next week, Ramadan timing starts. We're expecting probably Monday or Tuesday, depending on the Hilal, but we'll see when we see, and that means we'll go into Ramadan timings, which means that the lessons are condensed and they have less breaks. So I'll be starting slightly later and I'll be finishing slightly earlier. But everything in between is just crammed in. But anyway, enough about me. That's where I've been. Thank you for your patience. The last we spoke, I had some things to say about Chantal's status, which is pretty much status quo for me. You still cannot convince me she is anything but on a visitor visa. I know she's trying to now put off the, oh no, I was a tourist, but we are legally married, even though that's impossible. Oh, and we definitely needed it to move into the previous 2 apartments I lived in straight away, even though we didn't get it for a while. But maybe we did, because when I put up my video 3 months later of us courthouse beezing in the wrong place, and I originally told you that we couldn't get the paperwork so quickly and we had to wait for it, and then a reactor mentioned that actually you got it in triplicate within 15 minutes, and my story has now changed, so maybe they were living legally this whole time. You get the idea. She's not been the most reliable. She never is. Chantal is a lying liar who lies, and if you're ever in doubt, please refer to that rule. So in a shock to everybody, I'm sure, she needs to create a travel opportunity before the 3rd of March because she travelled back to Kuwait the 3rd of January, and now she might be going back to Canada. Spoiler alert. Now, of course, there's always a possibility that she just had an argument with Salah and come online and made a rash decision that she'll take back in 2 minutes. Let's get into the video anyway, and we'll talk about it as it comes. Warning, I will try and edit, but this video is 14 minutes long, and frankly, probably a solid half of that is just silence. So she's a little slow today in how she's speaking, more so than usual. It's noticeable. She's got very little to say, considering it's such a big topic. And that's the problem, really. It is a big topic, but there's nothing in it she wants to talk about too closely. But let's get into this because I've got to go to the dentist after this. I've got an appointment at 5, so I've only got really 2.5 hours to get through this. I might edit it when I come back.
Hello guys, assalamu alaikum.
Oh, it's her depression voice.
Welcome back to another video.
Like, comment, share, subscribe. But if you do any of those things, she will probably cuss you out.
Energy today. So I ordered Applebee's thinking it will cheer me up.
Generally speaking, she doesn't tend to be happier after she eats things. Sometimes a little euphoric in the middle, but there's always that moment of regret after the initial craving damps down because you're shoving it in your face, and then, oh, look what I did.
It does a little bit, honestly. I've been sleeping all day. My depression is out of control.
As someone who messes up their sleep schedule for several reasons, sometimes including depression, I understand that it's hard, but I also understand that she has nothing filling her life. So she has 2 solutions here. One, she could do something in the day that would cause her to be more active, either mentally or physically, which would give her a reason to be tired at night. And leaving the house would be more helpful with this. But even if she didn't, having some kind of focus, or saying, hey, I don't have a lot to do in the day, and therefore my schedule is more important to keep regular. Because I'm the same. When I hit a holiday, I go feral real quick, and then I'm awake all night and asleep all day. It's just my natural rhythm. But I recognize that it's really bad for me. And that whenever I do that, I get more depressed, I take less care of myself, my apartment gets more of a mess, which, my cleaner is coming the end of this week, thank God. In this case, I've been busy and I've just let it go. But when I'm by myself and I got nothing but time, that time can just paralyze you sometimes. And she needs to be able to manage that herself. And that's something I recognized in myself when it started and just had to force a change on. But the thing with Chantal is that everything is an excuse, not a reason, because depression can be a reason it gets bad, but she uses it as an excuse to not get better. Does that make sense? And that's not to say it's that easy, but there are things you can do to manage yourself, and ultimately she never does any of them.
So I got a lemonade, and I got, they don't even put the name brand on the bag. Applebee's. I got Applebee's. Applebee's. Get it? Bees. I got the fajitas.
That to me tells me she has been craving fajitas. That's why she made them at home. And the ones she made at home were so appalling it didn't satisfy that craving. So it's just been swirling around in her head, and here we are. Groceries are gone, food's back in.
Wait, where's my soup? What's this?
You ordered it. How do you not know what it is? What did I order? That's the haze.
Ah, here it is. They don't give you any cutlery. That's...
I will say it's a bit weird that they put it in the soup cardboard container and then in the styrofoam. I know it probably stacks better, but that was weird.
It's not even cool whatsoever. I'll be right back. Alright. By the way, this is a tablespoon. It's not a serving spoon. Can we just not, please?
Not what? Not get in my face about something?
You can say, oh yeah, that's a really huge meal, too many portions, yada yada, but don't say something that's not. Thanks. No.
That doesn't tend to be the problem, does it? It tends to be that we say that things that are. But in this case, funny that she has a problem with the spoon, but not with the serving plate she eats out of.
Broccoli soup. Yum.
Am I the only one who doesn't think that looks very appetizing? It just looks like a cheese sauce.
Let's try this. Bismillah. Oh my gosh, it has like huge broccoli chunks.
It's broccoli soup. What were we expecting? All over her face.
As you can tell from the title, or from the thumbnail.
I wonder why she only put it in the thumbnail and not in the title, because people don't always check the thumbnail too closely. I mean, her community does, but in terms of people scrolling, if she just wants to get clicks in, like I have a huge announcement or whatever she put in on the thumbnail would have been better in the title, and said she just called it Applebee's mukbang.
I have a huge announcement.
Her mood is completely appropriate because she knows exactly what we're gonna say, and she knows she's got no defense for it. I am going to cut as many of the spaces as I can, but please know there are massive pauses where she's just chewing, and we have cuts occasionally, so she had the option to edit, and as I said, the video ended up being 14 minutes long, so she could have edited and still put mid-roll ads in, and she chose not to.
I am pretty sure I like when the broccoli's smaller in soup. But I'm going back to Canada.
Just slip that in behind the broccoli comment. Back to Canada bees. Why? I mean, we know why, but none of the problems that she hit unexpectedly, because she apparently didn't think it through at all first time she went back to Canada, none of the problems she faced there that were causing things to be hard have gone away. So nothing has changed. She's still gonna be absolutely SOL. Which tells you probably that the situation she's currently dealing with in Kuwait is probably just gotten worse, and therefore, even though the Canadian situation is no good, on balance, it's now looking better.
The main reason is
Let's just have a moment of silence for grammar.
I don't see myself getting better here.
Well, to be fair, I don't see you getting better anywhere, but she'll go into more detail about it, so let's let her talk.
Unfortunately.
Notice how she's saying this while putting stuff in her face that's actively causing her problems. Like, no change of behaviour.
I feel like it's necessary.
Okay, so where are you going to stay? What are you going to do? Have you already looked at apartments? I hope you have, because that takes time. Do you have a guarantor for your apartment? Because no one's going to take you with your credit. I'm guessing you might have already been talking to Pete, because you mentioned you told him not to mention you recently. Thank you, Pete. We appreciate you. I don't always appreciate Pete, but in this case, he did the thing. But does that mean they've opened up the conversation of, hey, want to live together again? Which never really works out well, but she doesn't tend to care about the religious problem with it. So, you know, hey, if it's convenient for me, I'll forget everything else. I'm guessing she's thought about none of these things.
I also just miss my family a lot.
She's never been a big one for relationships with her family. The best relationship she had was with her grandma. She's managed this long without her family, and her family being there didn't stop her running back to Kuwait. So you might miss your family. It's normal to miss your family, but I do not think that's one of the reasons.
But that's all I know at the moment.
Why? She's making this decision. Why is that all she knows? Well, that's all she's decided. At some point I'm going. It's a weird way to put it though. Oh, speaking of speculation, has Salah finally had enough and been like, you're going? I don't think so. I think Salah, whatever it is, still gets something out of the situation, but that's all I know at the moment. Feels like there's been an outside force here.
My depression is just so bad right now.
Good thing the Applebee's is here, it'll help.
I slept like, I only fell asleep at 8:30 in the morning, and I woke up at 10 this evening.
God, even if you were sleeping at night, that is a long time to be sleeping. No wonder. Have you guys ever had like that sleep hangover feeling where... Have you guys ever had that kind of sleep hangover feeling where you sleep too long and then you're just kind of dazed and grumpy the rest of the day? That, but for your entire life. Good God, take some melatonin, set an alarm, force yourself out of bed, or force yourself not to go to bed, and then go to bed early. We've seen her do that before.
My family who want to be a support system and help me with appointments and coming with me.
Okay, so who is that as you suck down on what no doubt is an incredibly sugary lemonade? Is that your mom? Your mom's a nurse. She might be more concerned than you are because she knows what all of this means. She's never been one for hanging out with her sister, really, so I doubt it's that. It could be auntie, if her auntie's back, because she's been more willing to kind of tolerate / encourage Chantal generally. I'd imagine at this point her family just want her out of Kuwait and back to Canada, because then at least if she's going to end up unalive, like, it's on home soil.
To try to get some mental health help.
Well, how? You don't have a doctor in Canada. It's years on a waiting list for a doctor in Canada. If you wanted to go privately, you could, but you could go privately there. If you wanted an online help, you could do it from there. Do I think she needs mental help? Absolutely. Do I think she'll get it? No. I think she'll go to Canada and then she'll go, oh, it's really hard here, guys, and nothing will change, just like last time.
There's the fajitas, I guess.
Oh, I thought she'd got like a chicken wrap side salad thing. Looks quite large.
The fajita bread is like weird.
Oh, it's the actual wraps. It hasn't got a filling.
Oh, let me do a thumbnail.
Sure, it'll be enticing. That expression. When we talk about dead behind the eyes, just take a look.
What is this?
You ordered it.
Oh, what was I gonna say?
How the hell would I know?
Oh yeah.
Some kind of excuse that's going to turn out to be a lie, if history serves us correctly.
So I have people in my life that really, as a support team with the mental health thing. Honestly, mental health care here is so expensive.
But Chantal, you're an expat. Do you not pay the thing? Do you not have health insurance? Your residence card, and then you pay the unit. You've spoken to us about that before, darling. I do actually have some information, because of course I do, on the costs and things. It's slightly older at source, but it seems to still be relevant. But I find this cost discussion interesting because she's about to say they don't have it, and it makes me wonder, based on what I can see, exactly how much she needs done.
And yeah, I mean, I can't. I'm just gonna come right and say that I can't. We can't, like right now, like it's too much, like it's crazy.
Okay, so what is she having done though? Because she makes a decent enough amount on YouTube, yeah? I know that she has her tax payment plan. She hasn't saved anything for taxes this year, which she's been on a tourist visa this whole time. Canada might have something to say. But she's always talking about how cheap things are there. Like, what's happening to the rest of her money? I realise she's eating a portion of it right now, and her grocery haul was not what we'd call value for money. But we're looking at only, like, not even 2 weeks since payday. How can she be this short? I know she deleted quite a lot from her channel, but I think she's done a reasonable amount of videos recently. Although I do suppose, no, but she had all that drama around Christmas. She would have got a decent payout for that. I was going to say, I suppose January doesn't pay out that well, so February wouldn't have been that big of a check. But mine ended up saying about even, so if she put out content, or maybe I'm just blacking out how little she did. I don't tend to recall all, like, in terms of how many she posted. I just get small details that I need for these things. I don't know, it feels like something else is going on there, but we'll look into it in a minute. Just with her hands. She's got cutlery. You could just scoop it with cutlery. This is a choice you're making. Oh, I heard a jaw go. And it's still going. Jeez, where is that microphone? Right in the base of her throat.
I'm gonna have to start starving myself so I'm not too uncomfortable on the plane. I don't know.
As she puts this in her face. It's always when she's eating something that she thinks she's gonna have the strength to give it up later, but something she never really gives credence is it doesn't matter if you starve yourself for a week or two. She never gets to that, but even if you intend to, your body is in such a condition that it will not fix you the way you think it will. She's always thought, I'll do one fast and I'll be completely better. Like, she could fast for this entire month and she'd still get on that plane and be incredibly uncomfortable. Because remember, sorry, I turned it on and then I turned it off, so she has changed position, but I've cut it out. Remember, 3rd of March is, I believe, the cutoff point. So she's got, it's the 5th of March as I film this. She has got less than a month. There's only so much you can do in a month, and frankly, she ain't gonna do it. I have just realised something quite funny though. All of that clothing stuff she bought on sale that she actually really needed, that she then made her mum send back, she could have just held at mum's place and picked up when she went back. Jesus Christ, this pause is long.
But just to let you know, that's the plan.
She is known for changing plans suddenly. So like I said, this might just be a sulk at Salah. She doesn't seem angry, but she might be trying to manipulate him, and then it might be, oh, we talked and it's fine. Man, she is going to get to Canada and she's going to be high immediately.
So, guys, my health is just bad.
Yeah, we can see.
And my leg is not doing much better.
Funny how her leg bothers her when she wants it to bother her.
I need access to, like, certain things. Maybe like an MRI or something.
See, here I looked it up because I was like, if she's saying no, we straight up can't afford it, what are they making her pay? Because there are different prices for Kuwaitis and then for expats, yeah? So when you have the, when you pay into the system to be able to access the stuff as an expat, usually as an expat you will have health insurance. I believe they're insisting on it now, which might also be an issue. But it turns out, something I didn't realise, they have the Kuwaiti price, they have the expat price, but then they also have the visitor price. They have a 3rd tier where you're a foreigner with permission or you're a foreigner just visiting, which is what Chantal is. And it gets way more expensive. So if we look at MRI, for example, now one thing, this is from the Kuwaiti Times, but it's from 2017, which is quite old at this point. However, immigration law changes do tend to take a while to come through. And when I searched how much is an MRI in Kuwait, get mad about me Googling, Chantal, go ahead. You'd be angry if I did and angry if I didn't. It seems that the price of what I was looking at was about the same, so I think these changes are still in place. But let's take a look at the article, and it says basically, Health Minister announced an increase in health service fees for expats by mid-February. The new price list prepared by the Health Ministry reveals increase that reached nearly 500% for residents and much more for visitors. Because one of the big problems they were facing at that point was medical tourism, where people were just coming in on tourist visas and getting medical treatment because it was so cheap. So the new fees aim to shut the door on those who visit Kuwait to take advantage of low healthcare charges. The new charges reach a peak in the treatment of tumours with Therasphere at KD 5,000 for visitors, compared to KD 500 for expat residents, while the previous charge was KD 100 only. Treatment of bone cancer with isotopes will now cost KD 1,000 for visitors and KD 500 for expats, while the previous price was a mere 50. Charges for x-rays and lab tests were also increased, such as a thyroid gland testing from KD 15 to KD 40 for expats and KD 90 for visitors. Thyrogen injection charges have risen to 500 for residents and 790 for visitors. The charges for tests for esophagus and gastric reflux, stomach, liver, spleen, gallbladder and blood vessels range from 10 to 50 for expats and 100 for visitors. So visitors are paying up to twice the amount. So expats are already being charged through the roof, but visitors are paying twice that. Cardiac test fees increased from 10 to 50 for expats and 100 for visitors. Blood plasma from 20 to 250 for expats and 470 for visitors. From 20! One that might affect her, well, they've got lung aeration tests. I know she has issues with her lungs, have increased from 50 for expats to 110 for visitors. And kidney tests, because remember she was having problems with her kidney, with DMSA and MAG3, increased from 10 to 40 for expats and 90 for visitors. Now, she said specifically MRI. This says with pregnancy ultrasound, but I guess it's talking about all imaging services here. Ultrasounds are 10 to 30. CT has changed to 80 and MRI scans to 120. So this is obviously quite a lot of money, but if she just needed an MRI, she could swing 120 surely. I mean, she's spending more than that on takeout, which suggests to me she needs a lot more tests than she is currently revealing to us. Because if it's expensive enough that she is not willing to stay in Kuwait for it, either something else is going on with Salah or something else is going on with the health, which is going to mean that these charges pile up quickly. And it does look like they will pile up quickly.
Which is also very expensive here. Yes, even if you're an expat.
Especially if you're not.
Imaging is more expensive.
Yep, yeah, it is. But as a tourist, it's especially expensive. It's funny though, because she was always going on about how cheap it was. I think because up until now, she's only done like walk-ins. If you go to a clinic, you just pay a flat fee. Like I said, I've got a dentist appointment after this and dentistry is not covered by my insurance. So I go in, I pay, I was about to say 5 OMR for just the fee of seeing her, and then I pay for my treatment. I had a filling last time, she charged me, I want to say about 20 Riyal. I actually want to see her. I've got a tiny problem with the filling. I've got feel like a rough edge on it, but I want to see her about maybe getting a mouth guard because I think, she asked if I ground my teeth and I was like, I don't know, I'm not sure. Like, and then the more I've been thinking about it, the more I've been noticing, the more I've realized I do have to unclench my teeth sometimes, like unclench my jaw. So I'm maybe going to talk to her about, I don't know, mouth guard, something like that. We'll see.
Oh, I forgot cheese.
Man, if there was only some way she could do some kind of lifestyle change that might prevent the need to have all this expensive treatment. She's going to choke on her food. She's like an anaconda swallowing a frog.
You want me to chew? This is what happens. We waste time.
She would consider chewing a waste of time, but also, you have edited in this video. Cut it out. I'm about to. Because clearly talking about finances, which she never discusses on channel, while talking about how she can't afford potentially life-saving medical care in the country she's currently pretending to be a resident of, would be inappropriate. But it does rather make you wonder how many scans could be covered by her monthly takeout bill. She doesn't even want to look at us.
I always, have this vision of me kicking my health issues in the butt.
Yeah, and it never happens.
And then I think I'm really finally realizing, I can't.
Problem is, she has these epiphanies every so often and then she does nothing about them. She just can't sustain the idea of a change. She lasts 12 hours.
I can't do that from here.
But she really can't. She's right. She's getting older. Her problems are getting worse. They're getting harder to rectify. And she's put herself in a position where she doesn't have access to the system that would actually help her, despite the fact that she's not paying for it. There's just a whole host of good choices there, hey?
I just don't feel strong enough, without a proper support system.
No.
Supportive, but...
I mean, I don't care if Salar's being supportive. I don't imagine he's there. But, and that might have been a dig at him, to be completely fair. Look, I'll go away. She's had a ton of support in Canada. If her family feel that way now, they would have felt that way in Canada. She has had teams of doctors that she has blown off again and again. The problem isn't the support. The problem is she doesn't want to do it, and so she will find fault with the support. Because if it's not perfectly exactly what she needs, well, it's impossible. And if it is perfectly exactly what she needs, well, then I know my needs better.
Also, a more supportive healthcare system, and...
that she doesn't pay for. A more supportive healthcare system just means they won't make me pay for my stuff, despite the fact that I abuse them and don't support them. Much like any relationship, there's meant to be support from both sides in order for it to work.
It's not perfect, but I also have my family, I don't have much of an appetite, honestly.
I don't have much of it. Shut up. Who are you kidding right now?
I just want to go back to bed. So...
I think this is just setting up so she doesn't have to answer anything about this.
Anyway. I'll obviously let you guys know more, but I'm... Obviously she'll let us know more, and obviously we can trust it to be truth, and obviously she won't rage when people now speculate about the thing that she brought up on channel. Just to be completely clear, she brought up on channel. Not, going to say when I'm leaving, obviously.
I doubt it will matter. It's going to be within the next month, isn't it? But the only reason I think she's not saying is because I think she's probably not booked the plane yet.
But...
let's see if she books 2 seats, hey. If she doesn't have enough money for scans, I doubt she's booking 2 seats on an airplane, despite the fact that she's admitted she needs them.
I guess that's it for now. I don't have anything else to say. Yeah, that's all information I have for now. So thank you for watching, and good night. I'm going back to bed. Bye.
Bye, Chantal. Okay, don't get too mad when we talk about it. You brought it up. We only react to what you give us, remember? So enjoy your speculations, people. I'm going to turn this off. It's 2:45, so I might get some of this edited before I have to go, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.